You're watching the Gamespot co-op stage, sponsored by LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
And we are back live on the GameSpot co-op stage here at E3, sponsored by LEGO Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I'm your host, Chris Waters, and I'm joined by Andrea Renee, iJustine, and Jeff Kanata. We're going to break it down, talk about our favorites, talk about what we want to do, and talk about what we hope to see from these open world games. So who's got one we want to start with?
Look, you've been taking the lead here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right.
What have you got?
Wait, he took the lead last time.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
take the
need to take
lead.
no lead.
Andrea?
So, a new game, new IP announced from Ben's Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Open world. So here's the pitch. They told me, I saw the behind closed doors demo.
Yeah.
Open world action adventure sandbox.
Right.
So those are a lot of keywords.
Let's break it down. Yeah.
Right? So
With
breaking
zombies.
it down.
So
Not
far-
zombies.
So far,
They're
now we narrowed
called
down to like 12
freakers.
games.
Yeah. Right.
He's got a motorcycle.
Okay, we
does.
narrowed it down to like 5 games.
So one of the key things about an open world is locomotion. How do you get around that world? You don't just want to be hoofing it everywhere. A motorcycle is a pretty dope way to get around.
Well, and the guys on the development team told me that they designed the open world with the motorcycle in mind because, you know, one of the other people in my demo asked, well, how big is this open world? Because that's always like the first
Motorcycle
question.
size.
How big is the map? And so they were like, well, we want you to traverse it on your motorcycle. And so I think that's an indication that's gonna be
You
big.
cover a lot of area, and there are also going to
Yeah.
be some opportunities for sweet jumps.
I want to do
Absolutely.
that thing that's in Marvel's Captain America Civil War, when the Winter Soldier like takes that bike from that dude and then in one motion gets on it. Remember that? He like
That's
the guy's
really
driving
good.
at him, he just takes it and gets on it.
Yeah, I think
Let me do
Halo
that.
hijacking a ghost is your best bet for
I
that.
guess so.
I don't think there's going to be zombies riding motorcycles around, but
They
I
could.
mean, it makes me think of Dead Rising, the kind of motorcycle you're plowing through a crowd of zombies.
Oh, we're getting another one of those too.
Yeah, I was
we
actually
are
kind of
indeed.
excited because I had sort of this nostalgia feeling of when the Xbox One first came out that like the only thing I had was Dead Rising, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this. So just kind of seeing that and kind of going back to the old school Dead Rising, I was like, this is cool.
Frank
I'm
is
into
back.
that. Yeah, and even Watch Dogs 2, set in San Francisco. I love like walking around places that I'm familiar with, like even like Grand Theft Auto, like walking around on like the 3rd Street Promenade in LA, and like those
Yeah.
kinds of things, like that feeling of really feeling like you're in it, but like this crazy world. Even like Saints Row, like doing things that you could never actually do in places that you shouldn't really be. So I love that sort of open world feel of just, I could do whatever I want. I could waste a lot of time on these side quests.
Can't like hack a car in actual San Francisco.
I actually probably can.
There's a lot of
startup
hackable
for
cars
that.
in San Francisco. It's a problem.
It's true.
But so that's a good contrast to bring up. You know, Days Gone, we have this world. You know, as far as I know, that's not like an identifiable lumber mill that you can go out and find. Like they've created this world, whereas San Francisco, they're going out of their way to put, you know, all the Coit Tower, the bridges, all these neighborhoods in San Francisco. They've even completed a building in that is not currently complete. The tallest
Really?
building in the Watch Dogs trailer is the Salesforce Tower that's just going up now. It's only about that tall. And it's this
That's
tall in the
awesome.
game.
That's really cool. I mean, this looks awesome. This looks really cool. Like, it's
And-
just so great. If you've ever been to San Francisco, and it's such a beautiful city, so to be able to sort of like tour that and live it in a game. So like this kind of stuff in VR would be pretty cool.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that even though like visually they are really impressive, I have a little bit of open world fatigue. I think that there's a lot of games to play, a lot of great games.
Yep.
And open world games demand so much of your time. Not just from an exploration standpoint, but it's like fetch quest over here and an escort quest over here and run over here and get this thing and then come back and put it here.
That's
Go
true.
collect all these little trophies all over the
Right.
world. And it's just, a lot of these open world games have so much filler that it's becoming exhausting.
Well, that's why I think I spent so much time in Fallout 4, because everything I did felt meaningful. Because there was so much story, and every side quest was so dense and so rich, and even stuff that was just sort of fetch quests where I was cleaning out another building of, you know, irradiated humans. I still felt like I got stuff out of that, and it felt like good time investment rather than I gotta collect 12 of these or, you know, pick up the musical notes that are floating around the, whatever. And I hope that people take that to heart and create a density of experience, not just a breadth of experience.
And you got to play Zelda, correct?
Yeah.
What did you think? Because that map, I mean, seemingly from the things that I've looked at in some of the gameplay, it looks huge.
It feels huge, and it right now feels sparse. I think they're holding a lot back, but it already feels like it has polish. there's some magic to that world, and you're automatically doing everything, and my mind is absolutely blown by what is going to be stuck in that world. I know you know that Zelda is all about secrets hidden everywhere, little puzzles, and Link can climb any surface. He's Spider-Man in this game. I'm not kidding.
How did that happen?
He can climb anything.
He gets tired and he falls down.
He gets tired and he falls down, but then there's food you can craft that makes you less tired. And so there's going to be stuff that's hidden everywhere. And this massive world, it's daunting how much time this game is gonna require. But already it feels like a magical experience. I'm enchanted by it already.
I like what Andrea said about it being sort of that fatigue. Like there has to be, we can't play them all.
Right.
You have to pick and choose because I feel like you get so invested and you spend so much time that it's just like a part of your life. I mean, Zelda, I feel like, do they even say how long you could play?
It's forever.
Forever.
Yeah, Skyrim is forever, right?
Exactly. Then you get the more DLCs. So it really, these things can be never ending. So it is something that you're like, all right, I gotta pick and choose because you can't do it all.
And I also think that you give yourself a break when you're playing an open world game. Like you get into it, if you're not feeling it, you don't have to play it anymore. But I'm totally guilty of this, of I have to go back to it. I have this game. It's a $60 game. That's no small investment. I got to keep going. I got to at least get to a certain percent or get to a certain level in it. Open world games, yeah, they feel like a big commitment. But I think what they do best, or one of the things that, when they're best for me, is when there is a lot of stuff around, but I'm moving through it organically, like in The Witcher 3. I'm going from thing to thing, I'm discovering stuff, and I'm just following my nose. I'm not necessarily following a quest. And to make that satisfying, to make just being able to go from thing that pops up to thing that pops up, and not feel like you're checking boxes in this area of the map to unlock, whatever bonus for completing this stuff. Right. But feeling like I'm on this adventure.
Yeah.
I think that honestly it has a lot to do for me with incentivizing my questing rather than assigning me quests. Rather than just having a guy go, do this because I told you, it's more like in Far Cry. Far Cry does it really well.
That's what I was going to bring up because that's one of the games that I am so obsessed with. But even Far Cry Primal, I felt like I just did this in the last one. So I had that feeling of all right, I'm ripping down posters, before. And then Primal, the travel time. Yeah. I was just walking around forever.
Yeah. But that game is I want a pouch. I want a bigger pouch.
Yeah.
I need that pouch. So I'm gonna go hunt some stuff. Yeah. And I think that incentivizing you to go out into that world it goes a long way to making it more fun.
Yeah, and I think what Ubisoft is doing with their new titles, with both Ghost Recon and Watch Dogs 2, with not just incentivizing you, but also making it about player choice. That was a big theme that we saw at their press conference. We wanted you to choose how you play. So when they did that Ghost Recon demonstration,
by the way, can we talk about the Ubisoft demonstration school of acting, which is let's be real, ridiculous.
Get Jeff Kanata up there. He'll sell you a game.
I'll sell you a game.
He's got the enthusiasm. That's genuine.
Check your 6, guys. All right, Sarah. You got me covered? I got you covered. Let's do it. You're the best.
Well, Wildlands, I think, is an interesting one, Andrea, because this is a game. Watch Dogs is a game where you're one guy and you're kind of going around doing your thing in a world that's dense. Wildlands is a vast world, but there's a lot of space in between where the action's happening. And I think that is because it seems, at least to me, I haven't played it, just this based on my impressions. Ghost Recon is a game about sort of getting in, accomplishing the thing, and getting out. It's almost more like Metal Gear Solid 5. You're not necessarily just running around Metal Gear Solid 5 whoa, let me craft this thing or do that. It's a different style, a different take on the structure of an open world.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that they're letting you choose your path, but also choose how you play. I personally am a guns blazing, go in and wipe everybody out kind of a player.
You and Justine both.
Yeah, I'm let's go. Run a gun.
But they're letting you stealth your way through major portions, if not all of the game. I think they said you can play it all non-lethal, which is
pretty crazy.
Weird, for a shooter.
It seems like a pretty lethal game.
Yeah, but I
they are Ghost Recon. It's not like...
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah, but in Assassin's Creed, I also still went in and killed everybody and wanted to fight everybody. I just that's the allure of the more powerful hardware that we have in this generation of games, both on PC and on console. that they allow you to do so much more in the open world. So like when I walk to a far corner, you know, if I walk inside a house or like this guy is in right now on screen, like maybe I'll find something specifically in that building, or maybe I'll have a vantage point. So they, like you said, incentivize you to go to these different parts of the world. But on one hand, while that's super cool, it's still super exhausting.
I don't know, Ghost Recon to me, I was not impressed with. I mean, it does look like multiplayer Metal Gear Solid, which I guess is a cool thing, but it just felt like a mashup of a lot of other stuff I'd already seen, and there is a little bit of open world fatigue. I mean, the list of open world games here, it goes on and on and on. Mafia 3 we haven't even talked about, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, at least Horizon Zero Dawn, which for me is right at the top of my list of the best stuff I've seen here. I got a chance to play it, and just the fact that you are in a world that I've never been in before, you know? That Ghost Recon world, I feel like it's kind of Just Cause, it's kind of Metal Gear Solid, it's like a million things I've already done. But Horizon Zero Dawn, being in that place with those creatures to discover and take down and tame and ride, I'm into that, man. So I think a lot of that sort of freshness of the world is a big thing.
Yeah. We're talking about choices, and we were just talking earlier off camera about Detroit becoming human. How awesome it is to be able to have that choice, where they're like, oh, you're going to have these choices of moral choices, and you actually have to like make a decision, and that's going to impact it. Even just like the short demo that we did, I was like, how many renditions of this scene could there possibly be? Because it almost does seem endless depending upon what you pick up. We're also talking about how I was like, this dude is out there with some small child, and you're in there like, oh, do-do-do.
Yeah.
I'm just picking up
Hey, it's your choice, right?
It is true. I'm gonna check out. Do you pick up the fish? Do you not pick up the fish?
There's a child being potentially killed outside.
Well,
No,
choice is a huge part of open world, and I think
It's
that
great.
Watch Dogs 2 trailer they showed that had, the protagonist doing one thing and then overlapping, doing the next, then the next, and it's all different stuff. Did a great job of kind of illustrating that variety. That's one of the things, that fuels an open world kind of game, is the variety of gameplay experience.
Forza. We didn't talk about that yet either.
Oh,
Horizon
That
3,
counts as an
yeah.
open world game
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
And there's probably no guns in it even.
Oh,
Amazing.
what? Come on.
Can't shoot things in an open world game. How do they even do
It's
that?
Australia, they outlawed guns.
There we go. Smart thinking. That Forza trailer was really hot, and the Horizon series has been just. I'm not a huge racing guy. I
I'm
don't
so
play
bad
a ton
at
of
it, but
racing
man,
games.
it's fun.
Yeah, getting out there in the countryside and just kind of driving and following a road somewhere. Following the road is like, that's the metaphor. That's the dream of an open world for me. In The Witcher, I did that all the time. I just see a path and I follow it. I'm in a car. Where's this going to take me? And you just go for a drive.
Yeah. I just
The
wish that game was Burnout.
I know.
I was like, when I saw that trailer,
I love
can I just be
Burnout.
Burnout, please?
Can we do a crash mode
Please.
somewhere?
Yeah.
God, I love it. Final thought, my favorite thing about Horizon Zero Dawn and also Zelda, not a lot of overlap there, but the creatures in the world, there's wildlife. It's not just you, your enemies, your allies. The world has to feel like it's alive. I think that you need more than zombies and your old motorcycle buddies.
Well, they said that they designed that world to try to kill you at every single turn. They said it's a very dangerous open world. That's what they said. They're like, a lot of these open world games are safe.
Sound awful.
Zombie bears confirmed, is that what I'm hearing right now?
Zombie bears?
There are no zombies, they're freakers. Okay? Freakers.
So it's a giant rave.
Everyone just getting their freak on, trying to bite your face off. Oh, it's one in a wonderful video games. A lot of cool open world games at E3. A lot of hours in our future to be playing those games.
Indeed.
Certainly.
All right, folks.
Can't wait.
That's a look at all the open world games that we had time to talk about in this segment. Don't get on us if it's not a comprehensive list. Just go to Gamespot.com and look up all those games yourself. We'll be back live on the stage talking about Japanese games with Alexa Ray Korea in just a moment.